Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are super excited to be able to bring you one of our brand new tools. Launching today is what we are calling our copy paste tool for GP Dynamics with Key2Act. So a lot of you know uh, the, the current copy paste that we all love with GP, being able to use Excel and copy and then paste right in. Well, our Key2Act people, users were saying, I like that, but then I got to go do this and I got to do this. And so what we did was we gave you the ability to use copy paste and be able to bring in both the job cost and service information within the Excel doc. Okay. So let me just see if I can go ahead and talk a little bit about what we're going to do today in our agenda. And I've got Cheryl Simmons on with me as well, who, of course, is our Vice President here at Implementation Specialist. She is here to help answer all those hard technical questions. I'm here to answer all the usability, what we need, how do we do it, that kind of thing. That's where I come in. So thanks, everybody, for jumping on with us. Oh, Cheryl, are you able to, you're able to talk on your side, right?
I am, yes. And so I just want to set the record straight. I'll take the easy questions. And no, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Perfect, good. And, really starting off our agenda here with some of the reasoning behind working with copy paste was just again to add more functionality. So as you're looking at, how do we make things simpler? How do we make the ability to take, I'm going to go something as simple as like a credit card statement, be able to add jobs and service calls to them, or they may already be there, but now be able to automate that into an Excel doc that I can again import. Those were some of the things that we saw would really make things easier as we looked at being able to work with the transactions inside of Signature and GP. We'll talk about, of course, the functionality, how it works. Cheryl's got some additional webinars because April is a busy month for us. We are all about empowering users in April. We know a lot of our users right now are working remote with the virus, and being able to give people educational activities at the same time being able to help do their day-to-day jobs is really what we're focused on in April. And then you guys notice she's got another little note there about other new tools. Cheryl, I'm excited to see more on the other new tools as well. So guys, a little bit here on the copy paste with Signature, and we've talked about a couple of these, but being able really to support different integrations from expenses, time entry, being able to make that so it's not always a custom write. It's about being able to use an Excel tool, a common tool, and being able to do an easy paste back in. And yes, you can do a mix of transactions between service, job cost, and unbilled, all even in one document if you'd like. Cheryl, I know you've got the signature transaction entry. The paste option doesn't work. So really when we're there, the paste just doesn't include all of those key things like job cost, service, those types of things that we need. So let's go ahead and talk about really how we're going to create the template. Under additional options, I'll show you where that's at, the validation report, because of course, if it doesn't work, we want to know if it doesn't work. So I want to show you those. And of course, Cheryl's got on here the price point. We're selling this one for a tool price of $2,500, and it does have an additional enhancement on that as well to cover ongoing development. Works with both GP 2016 and 2018. So Cheryl, I'm right to your demo. I'm probably flying right through this, Cheryl. So add in as I forget items that you want to make sure that I don't forget.
No, you're doing well.
Okay, so guys, I'm over here and I am looking at my server here for 2016, and I'm just going to go to my transactions financial, just so you can see my screens here. Okay. And if you notice, this is just your basic one. This is the paste button that will only paste in the GL side, just the GL from like you normally would do in a regular financial entry, okay? Now that side's going to work for you with the correct template, meaning reference, account number, debit and credit, your old way, okay? But doesn't do anything with Key2Act using this button. Now, I don't want to confuse you with that because I want you to see our new one, which is right here under additional, okay? So in order to use this one, you have a new template behind me. You can see that. And just like your regular copy paste, you're going to be able to copy just the data from anywhere in a document. Okay, so this doesn't have to be at A2. It doesn't have to have the headings, but the column placement is critical, just like it is in with regular copy paste. Okay, so you want to make sure that as you're looking at how am I going to do it, your product indicator, whether it's job cost or service, unbilled, those need to be specified. Okay, and usually for me, I'm just keeping my standard template here and just copying and pasting. You may want to build this into some of your templates. And again, just take this little snippet. It's included right in the documentation. Take this snippet and then go ahead and take and just keep that in your documents or create it as part of your templates. Okay, so if you notice, product indicator is my first column. And yes, they have to be spelled correctly. We test for that. Okay, so if it's not spelled like it looks here, it will give you an error on your error report. Okay, the job number or service call, again, have to exist. Okay, that's a key. It also can't be a closed job or a closed service call. Okay, so we're testing for that, and you would get a pop-up for that. So we don't want to have users, I'm going to say, violate the rules, right, Cheryl? So if a closed job, you can't really do journal entries to a closed job today.
Right.
So we don't want to have those things. They still need to follow the rules. Cheryl, am I stating that correctly? We're not breaking any of the rules.
Exactly. Yep. And they'll show up on the error validation report if there are breakage of rules. We'll say yes.
Yes. Okay. So, and if you notice, like if I'm on my job cost line here, my job cost code again has to be an active code in the job. The same time, the element. Now, you guys maybe are used to seeing that element, and the element number just needs to be displayed or to be keyed. It does not necessarily need a description, except if it's number 5 on the service side, because 5 has the additionals. Okay. You can also add in an additional distribution reference if you'd like, the account number, of course, and then the debit or the credit, okay, depending upon what you need in your journal entry. They are, you know, a debit or a credit, like any transaction, is required on one line. At the same time, if you notice here in my example, I'm mixing job cost, service, and unbilled. You can do the same in yours, okay? So Cheryl, let's just try one of these. So I'm just gonna select. You notice I'm not taking that heading. I'm trying not to take that heading, but my selecting tool here is not working quite with me. So I'm highlighting that. However you like to copy, go ahead and copy. So I'm old, so I usually do my Control C. Now I'm gonna go back into my journal entry. And when I'm looking at my journal entry here, and hopefully you guys can all see this okay. When I'm looking at my journal entry, I've got my journal entry number coming in for my next number. I do require a batch on these. So for me, I'm just going to use my test batch here, but you again can have complete control over your batches. Now at this point, I can add a reference in. So I'm just going to put my testing again, but that is a required field, just regular GP. It does not necessarily have to be there before I paste, but it does need to be there before you save and post, okay? And now at this point, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use my additional, and I'm going to use my copy paste. Okay, and you can see that the lines directly behind me on the job cost with the service cost, or sorry, job cost with the job number and the cost code have now came in, and you can see my debit there is at the 340. My second line going to my accrued expenses is going into my credit of my 340. At this point, since I didn't have an additional distribution reference here, it is adding that in to my job number, just calling that out with my cost element here as well. Okay, what do you guys think of this one? So far, so good? Make sure if you've got questions or if you have comments, add them into that question pane. We love to hear your feedback on these pieces and what we do to make these for you guys. We love the feedback. We love to hear your thoughts on these pieces as well. Okay, so I'm going to save this one, and I'm just going to jump over to my next one here. I'm going to put my test in here again because Cheryl will tell you I will forget that, and then I'll get a message. And I'm going to go ahead and bring in my next one on the service side so you can see that service one come in as well. Okay, and I'm just going to go ahead and use my additional and copy paste, and there it comes. Okay, now guys, if you're like me, I am so used to hitting this paste. If I hit that paste by accident, which we'll all do a few times, okay, till we get used to it, it's going to pop a message to you because it is trying to paste with those wrong initial columns. Makes sense? So kind of keep in mind that if you use the regular paste a lot, that will give you the error message there, which I would expect. Now, if you want to create a template that maybe would be able to be used with both Key2Act, non-Key2Act, you notice I'm highlighting only just this single section here. And now as I go back in and I paste here, I'm not getting my job reference or my service call reference, and that's what I would expect. But if you wanted to mix your templates, you could, as long as you made sure that you were copying your selections correctly. Okay. I don't want to confuse anybody with that one, just so you guys know that, just so you can see the difference between regular paste and then our paste underneath our copy paste on the additional button. So guys, there's a lot of different things that we check for, like we talked about, whether the service call is closed or not. It has to be open. The account still needs to exist. Okay, that's a good one. If the account, something's wrong with the account number, all of those things, the system is still checking for. And I know, kind of give you an idea of some of the different ones here that we do check for, and I can kick off, I guess I could kick off a few errors, Cheryl. But if you notice, even in our example here, and hopefully this isn't too small for you guys, you can see if somebody has even just an easy mistype in the job cost. So adding in a different, me and my typing, you guys have all experienced it before. If I go ahead and just copy and now try to paste this one in. Remember, I've misspelled job costs, right? And I'm going to go ahead and use my additional here and then paste. I'm going to kick off that error report, that validation. So I'm going to be able to see right away that the product indicator must be unbilled job cost or service. So it's telling me right away what I need to look at, okay? So if you forget whether there's a space, no space, you can see easily here how we've added that and identified it. Okay. Same thing if I tried to add in a cost element or leave a cost element blank, I'm going to see that same message coming in that I'm going to get on my validation report that something is incorrect. Cheryl, I'll let you go ahead and ask the audience if we have any questions. And I'm talking about the hard technical questions that you usually answer.
I don't see any questions in the question panel. Let's see. I'm going to try to unmute everyone. So in case you're in the middle of something, go ahead and mute yourself, but this I'll let you be able to speak. So I'm unmuting all participants, or trying to. Okay, I selected it. Okay, so you should be able to unmute yourself if you have a question or want to speak up. Or you can always type in the question box as well. And while they're doing that, I would just highlight too, Deb, I think it's a fairly easy, simple tool to use, but I mean, just the full integrations that you could use, as well as, if you have data coming in from, like you say, a credit card, expense system, payroll system, and you just want to get those costs recorded on the job. And again, as soon as you post those transactions, they'll appear on your job or on your service call. So very handy in that regards. I don't see any questions at this point. Do you want to talk about the other webinars?
Perfect, definitely. And forgive the cough. Yes, it's allergy season here, so forgive the cough. Yes, let's go ahead and let's jump back over to PowerPoint. And let's talk about some of the things that we do have coming up, because we have our Empower Your Workforce series coming up. Starts, I believe, next week, April 6th. If you haven't seen emails on that, email me directly and I will get you all of the information. It is in our Tech Talk newsletter that just came out today as well. But it's 20, I'm going to say 21 webinars. I added one earlier and I haven't heard if that got actually in the mix. But these are all types of webinars. We took the best of our GPUC series. We took the best of some of the series, the most popular sessions from GPUC, GPUG Summit, just things that our users love to see and learn more about. We put those into what we're calling our Empower Your Workforce. Again, for those users that may be remote, may be looking for, as my staff is remote, maybe they're on a lighter work week and we need great time to get some educational opportunities in front of them, enhance that learning, keep our people motivated, keep them, really, I'm just going to say learning is a great way to keep our people all still engaged. So that starts April 6th. If you haven't seen those, it is a great way. We did put a small price tag on those guys, I will tell you. But what we did is we made it one price tag for the entire company. So if you have 10 people, you pay one price tag, you get all of the webinars. They are live. You can sit in on them, ask questions, get information, get all of your questions answered, of course. But at the same time, you're going to get the recordings for those. So if you can't make it to all of them, or you have a conflict and you want to have it, and maybe you want to watch it again and again and again, you have that ability. So I want to say, Cheryl, those are $1,000 per company. And again, you can have as many of your people go as you want to those. So sign up for those. I think they are limiting the seating in those. So definitely you want to get signed up now so you make sure you get your spots. They will be recorded. Just like our library that's out in iscorp.biz on our website, guys, there is tons of learning out there. Those of you that manage staff and you're saying, oh, I just need to learn more about this, or I need my people to be a little bit more familiar on some of these. It's a great way to go out. And again, those are all recordings. You'll be able to watch. If it's too fast of a pace or too slow of a pace, speed up, slow down. I always love that about pre-recordings. It's like, okay, I got what I needed, but maybe didn't spend, an excessive amount of time for the learning style. So be thinking of those. At the same time, guys, the great news, Synergy is still happening, but it's happening virtually, coming up the end of the month, April 27th through May 1st. If you haven't seen that yet, get out, start getting signed up for those things. We're super excited because we all look for Synergy for a great learning event. So around Synergy, we are also on the virtualized Synergy. We're also doing our post trainings virtualized. And I know Chelsea's been really working hard at getting the virtualized sessions going as well for post training. So be looking for more there. Our Tech Talk newsletter has tons of information around some of these sessions, but guys, look to way into November when we're hopefully all back to normal and we're all able to be out and about again, which I know it's hard to believe when we're all on lockdown. But in a few months, hopefully everything's back to normal and everyone's healthy, and we are looking so forward to bringing a bigger and better GPUC, our Great Plains User Conference, to November, adding in not only 1 day of Key2Act training. Our hope right now is to get 2 days, and I know Chelsea's working really hard on the logistics, trying to get 2 days of Key2Act training during our event. So our event will go from, Cheryl, I'm going to say 2.5. It used to be 2.5. It was 3.5, and now we're going to go up to 4.5 days of training and learning. So lots of fun coming in November as well. And Cheryl, I'm going to let you talk about the new tools and what's to come. So if you
Yes.
notice, I have the roadmap, but I'm going to make it bigger because, sorry, I've got it on the PowerPoint instead of on the. There you go, Cheryl. See, I even
Yeah.
made you big.
And this was the slide that we were going to roll out at Synergy and kind of get some feedback on as well. And so I'll focus in on the last column because that's the year that we're in. And so a couple of things here. So QuickMail V2, I know we've talked about it a little bit and kind of previewed it a little bit at Synergy last year. Well, that was ready to go for Synergy this year. So you see that on the list. CopyPaste, that's what you just saw. Deb walked through that piece. We also are working on the Avalara Connector V2. And for those that use Avalara Avatax, you probably know what I'm talking about. So there's a connector for GP and a connector for Key2Act. And Avalara has updated the GP portion to a new technology. And so what we need to do is update the Avalara one for the Key2Act side as well. And so we're working on getting that done this year as well. And so if at any point you're doing upgrades and are going to be using or need that new version, please reach out to us first. And so we'll make sure that we have that ready to go for you. Other things on the list, so void maintenance invoice, and again, this might change names before it gets shipped, but sorry, my puppy's crawling away. We have the void reopen tool today, which gives you the ability to void a service invoice once it's been processed. But we've heard lots of concerns, questions about, well, we can't do it on the maintenance side. And so that's what this tool introduced, is the ability to void a maintenance invoice after it's been posted as well, and basically reset you back to prior to that maintenance invoice being created. And so you can adjust dollar amounts on your revenue billing schedules if you need to and reprocess. And so I know there's some people very excited about that one coming. As well as web time entry is out and people are using that, but we've had the request for approvals now on top of that, is so teams can enter in their data for job cost or service, again, as an individual or as a crew. And those then directly go into TimeTrack upon submitting, but there's been the request of not having all of their approvals be part of GP and in TimeTrack. They're also out in the field, right? And they want to be able to have approvals be very similar to that time entry window. And so looking at adding that features as well over the next year, as well as, I know our time is almost up, but there's lots of other features that we're looking at adding, as well as even into existing tools like cost transfer, auto charge, some of our more popular tools. We've made additional changes in those tools as well. And so rolling those out to all the users, because we've added more options, let's say in auto charge, that everyone can use moving forward, whether it's a labor group rate, additional functionality there, as well as cost transfer. We've made some changes in there and tweaked some things to work better, leaving maybe a better audit trail. So those are all additional enhancements too that you could have. So I think that's a quick recap. But again, if you have questions or comments about any of those, please reach out to us and let us know. Back to you, Deb.
Great job, Cheryl. Thanks for the roadmap. We love the new things coming. I'm super excited about void maintenance invoice. I can hardly wait because that is a tough item for a lot of customers. And you know, all of the pieces that we put together, guys, we try to give you the best of what we hear from customers, the feedback that we get. So keep that feedback coming in. We're going to miss not seeing you guys all in person for Synergy, but you know what? For us, we want to keep as much going, keeping our people, you know, talking to other people and learning from you. That's really what we love about those conferences and the sessions that we come together on. So definitely send us your feedback. Let us know what you're thinking. If you like some of our sessions under the Empower, definitely give us that feedback too. We love to hear from you. Cheryl, great job today. Thanks for jumping on and helping me out. Everyone, we hope everyone stays safe and healthy, and we look forward to bringing you more tools from the wsTOOLS group. Thanks so much for joining us today.